Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Here today to discuss about WWF Raw is War, October 13th, 1997. This match card wasn't that great, except for the main event with LOD and a WWF Tag Team Championship opportunity. They were going against the Godwins. The Godwins were the Tag Team Champions going in. I will go over that once I get to that match. The rest of the card was pretty, whatever. There's some great segments, though, with D-Generation X and Shawn Michaels. It was another segment with Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vince McMahon finally finalizing the contract papers for him to come back to the World Wrestling Federation to compete under the rules that he would not sue the WWF in case something severely goes wrong with his neck, and they weren't held reliable for any of his injuries. And guaranteeing that he would get a shot for the Intercontinental Championship against Owen Hart at Survivor Series. So, let's go over it. First thing that took place, the Hart Foundation came down to the ring. They were trying to conduct an interview with Vincent Kennedy McMahon, you know, our favorite guy in the world, who right now is an absolute putz. But that's for a different story and a different video. Anyway, so he's interviewing the Hart Foundation. He's trying to discuss about the WWF Championship match he's got at Survivor Series against the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. He tries to go over it. And then Triple H and Shawn Michaels appear on the Titantron with Chyna and Rick Rude. They're saying, hey, whoa, hey, dude, whoa, hey, what's up, man? And he starts talking about, I know we're going to your hometown, Montreal, Canada, for Survivor Series, and I thought I'd show some footage on how Montreal, Canada really is. And he shows the footage from last week on the October 6th episode of him sticking the Canadian flag up his nose while he's at ringside with Triple H, facing Bret Hart one-on-one. And he's sticking the Canadian flag up his nose and walking around with it in his nose as well, which was fucking hilarious. Very insulting to a Canadian patriot, someone who actually comes from Canada. That was a little disrespectful, but hey, that's part of the character. That's what he was trying to portray. Not to mention he probably was drugged out of his mind at this time, because at this point in time, Shawn Michaels he even openly admitted, during this point in time in his life, he was heavily addicted to pills, and he was doing a lot of obnoxious things backstage. So the stuff that you saw on television wasn't exactly him just acting out a role. He was portraying himself in real life. He was just a fucking asshole. Which is why he got away with playing this role so well, and why it's so dear to my heart, and why I loved it so much. So Triple H, gets involved, and he says, hey, Brett, something that's great? Not also does Shawn Michaels gonna beat you at Survivor Series for the WWF Championship. I beat you last week. So what does that make you? He said, I kicked your ass. Let's show the footage. So they show the footage on the Titantron. They show Shawn Michaels drop kicking him in the face with a sweet chin music on the outside, and Bret Hart is counted out for the 10 count, giving Triple H the victory by countout. So he's happy about that win, not by winning by pinfall or submission, but by a countout. So it's really funny, hilarious. If you haven't seen this segment, go back and watch it. And at this point on the October 13th, 1997 episode, D-Generation X was officially named. This was the date that they officially were named D-Generation X. Bret Hart really gave them the name initially by calling them Degenerates. And he said, Shawn Michaels said, I'm taking this a little bit to heart, but you're talking about my Generation X, and, I guess we could go ahead and call ourselves D-Generation X. Yes, D-Generation X, you make the rules, and we will break them. And I just fucking love that freaking segment. That was a freaking awesome segment by DX and the Hart Foundation. Hart Foundation, unfortunately, took the brunt of this whole entire segment, and they got their asses kicked in this promo. So I thought it was pretty good. Then there was a match made. It was for the WWF Intercontinental Championship. Owen Hart was the champion going in against the Nation of Domination by the name of Karma Mustafa, a.k.a. Godfather at one point after this. So this was average, I guess, for the action that it was, but unfortunately the match ended up being a no contest. So that was pretty much the situation with that. Nothing to cry home about. Shawn Michaels, though, really stole the show with this match because Shawn Michaels and Triple H were on the broadcasting commentators table actually broadcasting this match. Now, I got to admit, the New Day did this all the time back when they were all together, all three of them, and they'd call a match. And this, they really took after D-Generation X. Could you imagine if the New Day had a more serious role when they used to do this and did something a little bit similar to this? How good it probably would have been. I think it would have been fucking hilarious. Now, granted, what they did wasn't all that bad anyway. I mean, with it being a PG era and everything, I think the New Day actually did a really good job with this for what they had to work with. But yeah, they were humorous and funny on the microphone. I mean, granted, it was a little more childish than DX was on the microphone for this match. You had Shawn Michaels and Triple H sitting there eating bananas along with Rick Rude. And then, unfortunately, there was a brawl that broke out with the Nation of Domination. And they ended up fighting, and Shawn Michaels was just sitting on the ground like a little kid, looking up at him, waving, poking him with the banana and shit. He even slipped on a fucking Nation of Domination's cap on his head and fucking just acting straight up goofy and ridiculous. It's the JR and Vince McMahon were going like, these guys act like they're little fucking high school kids in sophomore year. These guys are acting like a bunch of fucking retards. It was freaking hilarious, man. Great stuff, man. I loved when DX first formed. Thought they were really cool. I'll be honest with you, I think Triple H's best work was when he was with D-Generation X. Even when Shawn Michaels was gone, he was the head guy. I thought he was great with them. I think they did an excellent job together with what they had. They weren't main eventers. They were just a mid-card group. They went after mid-card titles and so forth. So, yeah, great stuff by D-Generation X, even with the loss of Shawn Michaels being out of action. So I got to give them a lot of credit. Next match after that was some wasted out fucking midget wrestling match. Now, granted, I'm the first one to say you ought to give the smaller guys a chance, but when you're a gosh darn midget, give it a fucking rest. This is Max Mini and Nova defeating Moisic and Tarantula, some shit like that. They end up losing this match. At one point during the show, I believe, we had two Scorpio, and he was supposed to have a match with Shawn Michaels, but that never took place. So we also had a match with 8-Ball and Skull defeating Recon and Sniper, the Truth of Recon, or Truth of Commission. And this match wasn't all that special at all. Brian Christopher had a match with Tajiri, one-on-one. This match was pretty decent for a light heavyweight match. Brian Christopher walked away. They keep throwing Jerry Lawler under the bus and breaking the fourth wall, kind of breaking kayfabe, and pointing out that Brian Christopher's the son of Jerry Lawler, which I continuously found funny throughout the times I've seen these episodes leading up to this one. We had Goldust versus Savio Vega, which did not happen. Well, it did happen. Goldust won this match. Nothing special there either. And the Legion of Doom win and defeat the Godwins, who were the tag team champions at the time, and they won the tag team titles in a very entertaining matchup. This was a do or die type of match. So if the LOD would have lost this match, they would have not been in World Wrestling Federation anymore. Going over the other things that took place on this show, they went over a lot of different segments about LOD, how they got into the business, kind of giving little short origin stories about LOD and how they came about and who got them where they are, which was Paul Orling, I believe is how you pronounce his last name. So that was some good stuff. Then you had Stone Cold Steve Austin. He had a confrontation with Vince McMahon about the contract, which I mentioned. That was finalized and everything. He almost had a match. We almost fought off the entire Nation of Domination. And he said, hey, this ain't no racist thing like I said before. You want to bring your asses down here, I'll be more than happy to stop a mud hole in you and leave you dry. So Rock got all excited. Young Little Rock, man. Still Rocky Maivia at the time. He goes ahead and he's like, let me go get him. And he runs in the ring. Instantaneously, he stands up in front of Steve Austin. Austin stuns his ass, puts him out, and Rock sold the shit out of this fucking stunner. He didn't go ahead and do that normal flip that he used to do when they both got really big back in the day. But he went ahead and he sold the fucking crap out of it. The moment he hit his knees on the mat with Austin, he went ahead and shot back up. He ricocheted back up in the air, act like he was unconscious. He was like, oh shit, his head spun around a little bit, and then he fucking collapsed right back on the mat. It was fucking great. Austin got out of the freaking ring as fast as he could while the Nation came to Rock's aid, and Stone Cold Steve Austin ran in the crowd. He looked like fucking Diamond Dallas Page in WCW with all the people surrounding him and grabbing him and wanting to, say, hey, you're awesome, dude, whatever, or pat him on the shoulder or some kind of shit. And he just could not move. The crowd was blocking his way. It was so fucking funny. And Austin was just smiling he had a smile on his face. He was running away from the audience, running away from Nation, and he just raised his hand up and gave the fucking bird. It was great. That was good stuff. We also had Too Cold Scorpio, who was supposed to have a one-on-one match with Shawn Michaels. Unfortunately, that match did not take place. That match ended up with Kane showing up with Paul Bear. Paul Bear basically pointed out that at this point in time, every single person on this roster is in danger of their own well-being unless The Undertaker steps up and accepts Kane's challenge to go one-on-one in a match at some point, which we all know where that took place. At least the ones that were old enough to watch these shows back in the day. If you're not, follow along. I'm not giving all the results away, because then it kills the fun out of enjoying following along to this. So if you are a younger generation, or you didn't watch wrestling from back in 1997 all the way up to 98 and so forth, stay tuned, man, because I will eventually reveal when this actually takes place. And please, nobody in the comment section, state where it takes place if you know, because that would really kill the fun out of anyone that's following along that isn't aware of when this takes place. But I'm sure pretty much everybody knows when this match took place, but I'm not going to say it just in case. But yeah, that was pretty much the situation with Kane and Too Cold Scorpio. After the match was over, though, I think Shawn Michaels came down to the ring and pinned Too Cold Scorpio and won the match with Triple H counting 1, 2, 3, which I found absolutely fucking hilarious. Then he jumps around, he's waving his hands in the air like he's Rocky Balboa who just beat Apollo Creed for the first time. Going like, yay, I did it, kind of thing. It's fucking hilarious. And that's pretty much it, guys. So at this time, you know what to do. Hit the like button if you like this video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And leave a comment down below, and I'll get right back to you. And I thank you very much for your time. I hope you have a great night, guys. Bye.